Hey, Shalom, Akim, all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahak, Wadash, the ones, the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule well. Peace, salutations, and blessings to the elect, pushing the word across the four corners of the earth. And I was just meditating over something, because this guy, Chief Ephraim, this is Mr. Pull up to the wherever, some shit's happening, so they can jump on the camera or whatever. I want to say he was with the pull-up boys. At the end of the day, we're here to understand this word. The Lord kept it very simple. Look, hear this word, understand and believe this word, and then go out and teach. You have a lot of guys here for popularity contests. They want to be seen. They need a couple dollars, but they have nothing else to do, and they're just kind of looking for a friend or some weird reason. Matthew 25:1, because this chapter is actually about those in the know. With these virgins, we use it for someone lacking that oil. But really, this is talking about Israelites in the know. This is Matthew 25:1. Then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. Which Yahweh Shai is the bridegroom. So you would have to know that the bridegroom is coming. You have a lot of people who know that they're Israel. Virgins is talking. Virgin is talking about them that do not commit spiritual fornication, right? AKA spiritual adultery. You're not dealing with other doctrines. I got 2 scriptures for that. First off, 2 Corinthians 11:2. If I am jealous over you with godly jealousy, for I have espoused you to one husband, that I may present you as a chaste virgin to Hamashiach. There you go. For I feel lest by any means, as the serpent beguiled Eve through his subtlety, so your mind should be corrupted from the simplicity that is Hamashiach. And when you deal with all these different other doctrines, you deal with a whore. Sirach 9:3. Meet not with a harlot lest you fall into her snares. All right, verse 6. Because you can ultimately use a harlot. You can use a harlot, actual physical harlot. Of course, the same thing would apply on a physical level. Don't allow a damn harlot to ensnare you, and you get to giving everything to a harlot. All right, verse 6, give not your souls to harlots that you lose not your inheritance. Exactly. And that's what happens when you deal with these other doctrines. Just like it says in Proverbs 7, that wicked woman who's going to lead you to hell. This is ultimately talking about another doctrine. Now, of course, we know an actual woman could do that, but these other ways, they'll get you destroyed. All right, you believe all these other things, you give your soul to a harlot. You have a lot of Israelites who will go left when it's time to go right. All right, Matthew 25:2, and 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. So you have them that are waiting for the bridegroom. Some of them are wise, some of them are waiting correctly, and some of them are not. Right? You got this guy talking about, first off, these guys will come online talking about, everybody in Israel has to follow me and we have to do one unity. Okay, so you sound like that you know the correct doctrine and that you have the capability to lead all of Israel, basically, right? You would think so. And then these guys will come online, jokingly Um, I already know the answer, but just answer me this. So what's gonna happen with? We see what you guys are doing. You guys try to ask questions in a slick way. But wait a minute, the Spirit is dealing with you. All Israel has to come under you guys, and we all have to unify. Shouldn't you know the answer? Why do you have to continue to ask us questions? Now, you guys are over the apostles, remember? So you know all these different doctrines. You know about the New World Order, which they've been talking about the New World Order since before anybody I can really remember. I've heard a couple of things, but to really bring the scriptures out, let me make sure I say it like that, and then apply the scriptures. This is what's going to happen. They've been talking about this since they came on YouTube. The Gurkha troops, all these different operations, which are now manifesting into real life things, that we're actually seeing. This equipment. We're actually seeing these troops. We're actually seeing funding. We're actually seeing, like I said, I've seen this place filled with men as with caterpillars. We're actually seeing them bring in people and for the police force to be given military authorizations, basically. Right? Matthew 25:3. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them. That oil represents understanding. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps. While the bridegroom tarried, they all slumbered and slept. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh, go ye out to meet him. Which, when you trim your lamp, there's a wick at the end, and you have to keep that wick at a certain length, or basically it'll waste fuel, and it won't burn how you want it to burn with your lamp. And you have to keep oil in the lamp, otherwise you don't have that fire. Right, it says, then verse 7, then all the virgins arose and trimmed their lamps, and the foolish said unto the wise, Give us your oil, for our lamps are gone out. And basically in these times we're about to hear a lot of, because Jake is slick. They know how to ask a question without trying to pretend. Well, I know the answer, but what were you about to say? Yeah, sure you do. Sure you do. But the wise answer saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you, but go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And this is Sirach 21:12. Because ultimately, hey, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. But we've been taught. See, this is the end of you Israelites who don't want to be taught. You know everything. You know everything, right? Okay. Well, now we're in that moment. We're in that time where it's time to apply. Right? Wisdom is the application of knowledge. Let's see if you can apply these things. All of a sudden, people are shaky. Well, what about this? What about this? Shit, what about it? You really think that these Edomites who, because you have the theater of war, which the point has already been made on the question, but you have the theater of war. They got McDonald's in all these countries. They got Starbucks in all these countries. All these countries are doing big business with America, big business with the EU. Right? One of the reasons Russia wants to take Ukraine is because Ukraine is the breadbasket of Europe. A lot of the grain, a lot of the wheat comes from Ukraine. And then Russia will have direct control over food and energy, because Europe is already using Russian oil. All right, China, we know about China. They have all these factories. They have slave labor, which is super, super cheap. So America and Europe are using them. And then, China has gotten hip to the game. They start bootlegging everything. You can get a lot of that shit for cheap now if you got a direct connect. And certain people know how to get around tariffs. And then they lifted up tariffs on certain things as well through negotiation. You know, everybody gets on TV though and they talk big, and you better do, you know, it's all theater. It's all for show. But hand joins in hand. Scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. All right, Sirach 21:12. He that is not wise would not be taught, but there is a wisdom which multiplies bitterness. You got to be taught when you come into this thing. You know, that's a whole spirit of, you know, I've been watching the videos. That's good. You've been watching, you've been studying, you're taking notes. That's good. You still have to be taught. You still have to be taught. All right. The knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood. What does it say? Every day our light gets brighter. We see more and more things play out. I see it. Wow. If days are passing and you just ain't seeing shit, you're not a prophet. It said, verse 13, the knowledge of a wise man shall abound like a flood, and his counsel is like a pure fountain of life. You gotta keep your flow. Right? You gotta keep flowing. If I flow futuristic, could you? Verse 14, the inner parts of a fool are like a broken vessel, and he will hold no knowledge as long as he lives. So you can have somebody who's an Israelite, but they're a fool. A foolish virgin. If a skillful man hear a wise word, he will commend it and add to it. But as soon as one of no understanding hear it, it displeases him, and he casts it behind his back. And that's what a lot of you Israelites have done. And when this shit hits, you still, a lot of you guys are still debating if the C hip is the mark in Revelation 13. A lot of you guys are still debating that. Let's do a debate on that. Nigga, for what? We know it is. Do you know it is? Do you know what it is? But because when we said it, you cut, that ain't it. Okay. But, well, when it comes out, would you take something like that? And a couple of you guys have said yeah. And your congregation has said will take it too. And you're gonna receive extra for them doing it. Verse 16, the talking of a fool is like a burden in the way, but grace shall be found in the lips of the wise. They inquire at the mouth of the wise man in the congregation, and they shall ponder his words in their heart. As is a man. So you have to ponder over these. Okay, it says this. Let me see how this is gonna play out. Oh, I see it. I see how that's gonna play out. Okay. You don't get it, ask a question. As is a house that is destroyed, so is wisdom to a fool. And the knowledge of the unwise is as talk without sense. Doctrine to fools is as fetters on the feet, as chains. Which wisdom is likened unto a fetter in a way that it keeps you from doing certain things. All right, it holds you back. And it says, doctrine to fools is as fetters on the feet and like manacles on the right hand. All right, so you guys are chaining me down with this. Yeah, certain things that you can't do. Man, certain things is really the whole book is non-negotiable. This is what it is. All right, Matthew 25 and 8. And the foolish said unto the wise, give us your oil, for our lamps are going out. But the wise answered, saying, not so, lest there be enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. Afterward came also the other virgins, saying, Lord, Lord, open to us. But he answered and said, Verily I say unto you, I know you not. Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh. Exactly. So you have to continue to watch and understand what you're watching for. You just looking at shit. What's going on with it? No, you're watching and going off your checklist. Okay, check. I see that. Okay, check. All right, I see Ezekiel 37 being fulfilled. Ezekiel 38 playing out. Matthew 24 is playing out. All right, Revelation 13 is playing out. And many other chapters playing out. You got to know what you're watching for. You gotta. How you go bird watching, and you don't know none of the birds. You just looking. You got to read the guidebook. You got to read the checklist. All right, but ultimately the wise virgins are gonna get it. The elect, and shalom to the elect.